for anybody. So welcome to our Guilford Lunch and Learn. It's an opportunity for us to share with you more about your community cares, and we're grateful for all of you to be here today. We have Tammy and Terry and Kristen and somebody from the Rotary Club, Tammy, or?
Yeah, he's not on. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
It was supposed to be Tom Terabile.
He might be joining us. But thank you all for being here and putting this, this is made possible by the Rotary, the Guilford Rotary. So Tammy, I'll let you kind of kick it off since you're the point person down there.
Well, I'm just going to thank everybody for being here. We're thankful everybody who has joined. If everyone would just introduce yourselves and tell us how you're associated with Guilford, that'd be great. I'm Tammy DeFrancesco. I'm from Guilford Social Services. So I'm going to go to Terry.
Terry Buckley. I'm the Guilford Senior Citizen Coordinator through the Park and Rec Department.
Kristen.
I'm Kristen Jones. I'm the Program Coordinator at Guilford Social Services.
Marianne.
I'm Marianne Bracken. I've lived in Guilford over 50 years, and I'm currently on the board for the Shoreline Village, Connecticut, which is a volunteer organization. And our mission is to help older people stay in their homes, and we provide volunteer help for them to do that, primarily driving.
Melanie.
Yeah, I'm Melanie McCluskey, and thank you so much for inviting me today. Terry actually asked me if I would sign in, and I have I'm a volunteer at the Interfaith Volunteers in Charlie's Closet, and I started a program during COVID to assist the elder folks that are living at home to decrease social isolation and to decrease the digital divide. So we've had 2 years of this program. It's a 2-month program on a yearly basis. So I'm very interested in helping elder folks in the Guilford community.
Great. And Gina is staff.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Gina. I'm new here at Guilford Social Services. I am the new intake specialist, and it's a pleasure to meet you all and find out what you do. Thank you.
Great.
Matt.
Good morning, everyone. Matt Hoyt, First Selectman, and happy to be on this to see how we can further provide support for our senior community.
Thank you.
Sonia.
Sonia Marino, Director of Health, Town of Guilford, and I'm eager to help support wherever we can.
Rick.
Parks and Recreation Director. Terry told me this was a Zoom lunch and learn. I said, well, how are you going to give us Zoom lunch? How are we doing that? I'm waiting for it to come through somehow. Parks and Recreation Director, and obviously Terry works with me and very supportive. Tammy and Terry and Michelle, you guys coming up with this idea. I'm also in the Rotary Club, so I could, if Tom doesn't make it, I could share information with them. But supportive. I think it's a great idea. We do a lot with seniors already, but this is beyond what we do, and I think this can be a great program.
I'm sorry, I don't know your name. Birmingham, MD Birmingham co-founder. You're listed as?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yes, I'm MD Birmingham. I'm the co-founder of Guilford Community Cares.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You haven't met this crew yet, so thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you.
And
Chris?
Chris Massey, Deputy Chief of Police. And again, we deal with a lot of senior citizens in the community and eager to find out other ways that we could support them and push programs out to them. So.
Deb is our Oh,
Because I'm a-
she doesn't have way to speak. Deb works in our office. She's our assistant, admin assistant. And then there's Tammy Lizette.
Hi, sorry, my video must start. Tammy, I'm the school counseling at Guilford High School, and I'm anxious to see how we can maybe try and see how we can get the kids involved, you know. to
That's
support.
wonderful. Thank you.
So,
Great, thanks everybody, and thanks for being here again. Today we'll give you an overview of what your community cares is, how you can get involved, how we help to plan in the Guilford community as you already have some programming, how we might be able to add to that. And put any questions in the chat box that you may have, and we will definitely, you can stop me. This is informal. Feel free to stop me throughout the lunch and learn and, ask a question. You could just put your hands up. And you can put your contact information so I can contact you after the call if you don't mind. So I'm going to share my screen. Can everybody see the presentation? Okay, great. So your community cares is a modern way to be a good neighbor. I mean, it's a way for you to connect to a neighbor. Specifically right now, it's seniors and people with physical disabilities that want to do good things in their community. So if you wanted to lend a hand, you didn't know how to do it, you could sign up with your community cares and you would be notified when people are in need of help. In 2019, as being a physical therapist for, over 20 years, I was going into people's homes and I became more and more frustrated with the fact that they didn't have more resources. So that's where MD Birmingham and myself came up with the website to really link communities together, to better link communities. And that's what your community cares does. Our state is aging and it's very complex. And this was prior to COVID, that we had this idea. And as it's getting more and more complex every day with inflation, food insecurity is still a problem. Transportation is a problem. So we're really a way for communities, people that want to help can sign up to be a volunteer. And then those people that need the help sign up to get help. It's all done through the website, or they can call us and get signed up, or they can call social services, the senior center, and somebody else can sign them up on their behalf. So we have multiple ways that people can get signed up.
That is cute.
And it's really vital for, as 10,000 people are turning 65 every day, we have this growing population of people that are aging, and the plan to support them as the years go on, it's really important to build a network of neighbors to link to one another. And that's what the system does, is it's a safe way to connect to your neighbors as we do background check everyone that comes into the system, except any high school student we can't background check. So other than that, we are background checking everyone. So volunteers can help with being a companion. That means you could be a friendly visitor, you could play a game, you could teach technology. There's a whole host of subcategories under companionship. So when you sign up to volunteer, you pick the category that you're interested in. And then you will get email notifications on just those requests that community members are putting out there. It's only going to be in the categories that you choose. And you will map to anyone within the town of Guilford, or you could decide to go out of the town of Guilford and volunteer somewhere else. You could help with housework chores. That could be somebody came home from the hospital, they have a total knee replacement, can't go into the basement for a while to do their laundry. They could be asking for, decorating over the holidays. It could be paperwork to be filled out. People are asking for a whole host of things as they're coming home and there's more vision issues. Many people have macular degeneration. It's very hard to fill out a lot of these forms. So there's a whole bunch of categories. So you pick the category, and that's where pet care has really come to light with the hospitals requesting that their patients get some volunteer time to take care of their pets as they're going into the hospital or recovering from something at the hospital. So we started a pet care program here in Manchester, where this is our headquarters in Manchester, but we do serve the entire state. So we're hoping to roll out similar programs with other hospitals, but that's just one of the categories within housework that you could choose to help out with. And we know that some people would rather take care of a pet than another human being. So if you're really a pet lover, you can, help out with pets, but the whole goal of this is to better support older adults in a variety of ways, and pets is part of their life. So we want to make sure it's included as something to be taking care of them. So community members are the people that are basically in two categories. They're either over the age of 70 or they're over the age of 18 with some type of physical disability. And in time, when we're growing, and we can change that age 70, but right now those are our two qualifiers as we're still, getting off the ground. We just hit year 3, so we're really excited to be growing in Guilford during our 3rd year. So once they enroll, we do the background check, like I said, and it could be online or in person. And the whole goal of today is for you to walk away and say, okay, I'm going to share this with my employees, the people I work with, because we know that being influencers can help steer people towards this program and trying to get them to volunteer, because we know that we have so many community members that will probably raise their hand and they need help, but we have to build in the volunteers to make sure that we're serving the community. So that's really the goal of today, is to try to get you to understand it. Guilford Community Cares. It's using our website to connect Guilford residents, those people that need help. They put in their request right on the website, or they call us, tell us what the request is, and then they can connect to a neighbor. And this is Frank. He's our oldest member. He just turned 107 last year, and we want to keep celebrating those birthdays as they're so important.
So I'm gonna call him, and you can take my minute.
Hold on, my computer's not advancing. And then on the other side, volunteers, they are age 15 and older. So 15 to 17, they have adult consent and supervision. And that's really important, that we want high school students to be involved. We'd love for them to, and they can actually volunteer as a group. The high school can have teachers go out and volunteer together, do yard work in the fall, spring, or they could do it on their own time with their parent supervision. So this is not including any personal care or licensed work. So we're not talking about you being a plumber or an electrician. These are just general chores that people could do. Bring them to a doctor's appointment. The transportation is a big piece. As you guys know, more and more people need the help at home. And it's just awesome to see these community members that are creating friendships, creating new bonds, these intergenerational connections that are happening as a result of people getting more involved in the community. So it really does allow for people to volunteer on their own time when it's convenient for them. They pick and choose the deeds that work for their schedule. So it's not like we're telling anybody they have to be there at a certain day or time. It's really pretty convenient. And right near you guys, we launched the Clinton Community Assistance Team with Chief DeMayo and Clinton, and we'd love to do something similar. This is really a way for the police department and the Human Services Department to come together and refer people. And that's really what we're talking about here, is referring volunteers, letting, if you have auxiliary volunteers that you think might be interested in volunteering, it's sharing the information and having them sign up on the website is really all that needs to be done. The website does it all. It's just people need to sign up there and then they accept the appointments right through the website. So it makes it really pretty easy. This is an example, a typical woman who lives here in Manchester. She is signed up through the social services here in Manchester. They run her account for her. So every week or month, they put in those requests. And then once the volunteer accepts it, they call her and say, you know, Beth will be there. And this has allowed her to stay in her own home during all of her health conditions that she's been struggling with. She just lost her pet, her dog. And, you know, it's a really sad time for her, but she has Beth who comes over on a weekly basis. And she's been doing this for, I think, 2 years. And it really just allows June to stay in her home and keep it clean. And she gets a friendly visitor once a week too, which is nice for people that are homebound. So like we talked about, you know, churches can volunteer together, nonprofits can volunteer together, businesses can volunteer together. So if you do a group partner, those are our partners, and I'll show you that on the website in just a minute. But that's the way that people can volunteer as a group. And that's awesome for younger people that trying to show them that they can give back in their community as well. We are looking for a hometown hero. That would be the person in Guilford that's really helping with coordination, outreach, you know, setting up a table at some of these events where we could be more involved at the local level. We have a Clinton hometown hero. She joined the Clinton Chamber to be able to get us involved in more activities and more events. So along with that, she just does a lot of, she created a Facebook page for the community assistance team and all different things to try to get the word out. So just sending out the flyer. If I send you a flyer, you know, you could pass it on. We're just trying to continue to let the Guilford community know about this program. And we are all volunteer. We're a small board of directors, a small advisory board, and we have a lot of professionals that have been helping us. In the next couple of months, we'll be updating our website with a lot of new features. So we're really excited about that pro bono project with Infosys. And we are just grateful for everybody that has been helping. I want to ask, anybody have any questions before I go over to the website? Okay, if you haven't seen the website, yourcommunitycares.org, and it's you are, and that's because you are part of your community, and that's what all of you being wonderful Guilford residents, you all want to do good in your community, and this is just a way to be able to volunteer on your own time in the category that you're interested in. So partners, they go to be a partner page, and this is where you could sign up your business to have employees volunteer together, or the high school, teachers volunteer together. We've got high schools that have camps during the summer, so they volunteer together. All different things, church groups, all different things. So you can sign up as a group of volunteers, or you could sign up if you knew that you were going to have a lot of people that maybe didn't have technology. Like Marianne, if you know that a lot of the folks that you're serving don't have technology, and you wanted to create a way to sign them up and run their profiles, whether that be 5 people or 10 people, you can certainly do that by becoming a partner. So that way, all of the emails will come to one email address, and you would be responsible for trying to get those people better connected in the community.
Great.
And otherwise, people go to sign up, this pink sign up button, and they're going to sign up as an individual. So we do ask for people's pictures. If you are signing up in a group, you're just going to put, you know, Shoreline Village or the Senior Center or the police department, whatever it is, you would just put like a logo so that everybody would know it's coming from a town department or kind of whatever your organization is or your, and then you choose the user type. So say it was a community member that was signing up. It's a short, we're trusting people that when they say that they're disabled in some way, you know, we haven't had anybody that's been abusing the system, so to speak. So they're going to put down if they're under the age of 70, how they're disabled in some capacity, you know, but we haven't turned anybody away. But we are just focusing on the towns that we have funding in because so many people are asking for help. So we are not just signing up people in every town right now. We're only focusing on the towns we have funding in because we're just growing more quickly than we can handle. So on the updates tab of the website also are flyers, our annual report, fact sheet. So if you could direct people, if anybody has questions, you could print off flyers, the tearaway pads, these can be printed off as well. So just another additional thing to note. Our YouTube channel, we have a lot of content on the YouTube channel. We're working with the Valley Shore Community Television, and we're able to do some programming there, and we will be coming to Guilford to do some programming. So if you have ideas or if you want to be involved in a video, let me know. This was our latest PSA. Play it real quick.
There are many older adults and people with physical disabilities who need help to remain independent at home. People are living longer, and many are struggling to get everyday chores done on an ongoing basis, unable to pay for private services to keep up their home. Your Community Cares is a no-cost solution for our participants, where neighbors help their neighbors in every town so they can age in place at home. The need for this solution is great, because 10,000 people are turning 65 every day. And with fewer people in the workforce, neighbors will need to rely on free volunteer support in their neighborhood. People are not seen because they are behind closed doors. For those in the aging and disabled community that may be unwilling to ask for help, the message would include, everyone needs help sometimes, and it's okay to ask for help. Acts of kindness are needed in every town. We are online at yourcommunitycares.org, where we have additional information about the benefits of helping someone in your town.
So I just wanted to share that with you as we're, you know, really trying to make towns aware of how important it is to get involved. And there's so many people behind closed doors that you just don't see that need additional help at home. So our Facebook page has, you know, all of our social media is at the bottom of our website. So if you want to get connected that way, you certainly are welcome to join any of our social media. Anybody have any questions? MD, did you want to add anything that I missed?
Sure. Hello, everyone. I just want to give a really quick example as to how the connection works. I'm just going to reiterate. So, for example, you may know there may be a community member that needs help with their garbage. They're older and they're worried about falling, you know, so they say every Thursday at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m., let's say, I need someone to help me or to bring out my garbage for me. They put it in the system. It goes out to the volunteers in the town or within a 15-mile radius of their location. And then the volunteer will accept it if it suits their schedule. And so it's a first come, first serve. The volunteer accepts it. They will go fulfill the community deed. And then after they're done, they will end it with, we say closing the deed. And that's where they will just, they'll write some note or a report, a review that says it went well, it was great, and that's it. It's that completes the deed, and that process it takes to type up the requests takes about 2 minutes at most. It's not a long, extensive process. Once you log in, say I need help with whatever it may be, and it goes out to the volunteers, and by email, they get it, they go review it, and if it fits their schedule, they'll accept it. And like I said, it's first come, first serve. So it's a very efficient way to help the community members.
Great, thanks for that. I think we have a question with Melanie. You want to unmute yourself and we'd love to
Yeah, I
hear.
do. Thank you. Yeah. So thank you for a wonderful program. It sounds and seems very, very interesting and very rewarding for the community and the volunteers. I have a question with regards to, have you information, or were you able to capture like the number of visits, for instance, in your community, maybe Manchester or Clinton in the past year? That was one. And
Yep.
Our
we are integrated with Salesforce, so all of the analysis is done by quarter or year or whatever by community. So once we get a grant award in a certain town or a certain, some of the community foundations that have given us funding in multiple towns, but we're able to do it by area or by city. So yes, you guys will get a report of all of the analytics.
Is that quarterly or annually, or you're not quite sure yet?
Tammy hasn't quite told me, or Terry, whatever they want. Yeah. Up to them.
Another question I have, Michelle, is that one deed at a time. So when the volunteer goes out and does the deed and signs off on it. So if someone is requesting, like, I would like to have some help with my housework once a week, is there a limit, or is it each time the volunteer goes out, they do the deed, or is it cumulative?
That's a good question. No, there's no limit. You can have multiple deeds done in one day. It could be housework, yard work, companionship.
Right. One example in Clinton is they have a person that needed a ride to Yale. So she had transportation done one day, and she also had some help in the yard at the same day. So you could have two different people coming to your house if it coordinated with their schedule. So you can put that community member can put a reoccurring appointment in for every Monday at 11 o'clock, and then you could go in and accept it, but you'd have to accept all of those.
Great.
May I ask a question? Does the volunteer have to report every week that it's done?
Yes, after every deed, they just put, everything out well, or you could put in that this person might need a ramp, that, that's some of the concerns of this other person, is that the volunteers are saying, we think they might need a ramp. How can we possibly get them a ramp? So we're trying to work with social services or other groups. So it can be a reporting tool, so we can see on the back end any concerns that people might have.
No, but what I'm saying, like so say my grandmother put in that she needs someone to take out her garbage every Thursday night.
Yep.
So a volunteer says, you know what, I'm going to do that every Thursday night. I'm going to be the one that does that. So that person after every Thursday night after they perform that task, do they have to go in and report it every Thursday?
Yes.
Yes.
You could
Okay.
Yeah, it's closing it so that we know it was actually done. Because if we
Okay.
leave it open, then we don't know if it was actually completed. So yeah, we do
Okay.
need to close them.
All right.
Tanya, I think you had a question.
I have a question and a comment. The first one is, thank you so much. I am painfully aware of how much the elderly needed a service like this during the whole vaccination part. And it was very difficult to hear elderly people cry, not knowing how to use a computer. The senior center is great, our awesome departments in Guilford here, but it still was very difficult. So thank you very much. The other thing is I deal a lot with collectors, i.e. hoarding situations, and I see that you have teams. Is that something that you would be able to assist with in
That's
cleaning out the units?
That's up to the Guilford residents that would sign up as a group and work together on those projects. So it's up to whoever signs up. If they have a group of partners that are willing to do something like that, they see the request and then they decide if they're going to accept it or not.
We have had several people sign up, requesting help with moving or whatever the case, and there's been volunteers that came together and actually made it happen fairly quickly and swiftly. So
yes.
Yeah, and Michelle, I think I tried to send you a chat, but I think it didn't go through a question. So using that example that MD was given about, say, the trash pickup, for example, somebody signs up for that, they go away on vacation. So there's maybe a couple of weeks they're not gonna be around, or they're sick or something, they're not gonna be able to get there. How does that information get to the person they're gonna pick it up? And then how does somebody else pick up that task?
They would just cancel it. So if they could cancel the deed, so if they schedule a deed in the system and for whatever reason, they can just cancel it, or and then they could make a new one.
Okay.
So our new website is going to have a lot of new features, but we were on a this is the way the system is now. We have a lot of new things that are coming, but that's the way it's set up right now.
does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. Again, I was just wondering how I don't know, again, let's say somebody's sick and they're supposed to do trash pickup, and I don't know, they go on the website and say, I can't do it today, I'm sick. And, is it their responsibility to find someone else? I'd probably not. I guess somebody else would have to just pick it up.
Yeah, it would be the community member would have to put in a new deed request.
Yeah, it would just be, they would have some sort of communication and then it'd be canceled and they just put in a new one.
Yeah. It will be different in the future, but that's the way it's set up right now.
Okay, thank you.
Because if you think about it, we're really a startup technology company. That's really what allows us to link all of these communities together is through our website, the technology features of the website. But we are a nonprofit, and that's why we're looking for funding. So we're really grateful for the Rotary for getting this program started. And Terry, do you want to tell a little bit about what's going on at the Senior Center and what you're seeing as needs?
Okay, well, probably the biggest example of something similar to this that we did was during COVID when we did the Guilford Cares program, which was a grocery shopping program. Tammy and I got together and realized, what was going to be needed during this shutdown period. And it ended up being a great program. We did over 2,500 grocery shoppings in the year that it ran. Because a lot of seniors were afraid to go to the grocery store, and the Guilford community stepped up amazing. We had, I think, over 100 volunteers. And then we did the administrative part similar to this of matching, only we didn't do it with a computer. We did it, old-fashioned way with the help from the Guilford Cares group. So that was, very successful. Same idea. So this would be expanding that to include a lot of other options. As a department, we do offer the transportation. So, that shouldn't be a big need, at least during the week. We do sometimes get requests for weekends though. Church, so I could see where somebody might put in a request for transportation to like a weekly basis trying to get to church. But you know, during the week, you know, certainly if somebody would prefer to go through somebody private, but we do offer a pretty extensive transportation program here. We have 2 to 3 drivers on almost every day,
Great.
transporting seniors. The need is certainly there. I think we're still within budget, Matt, but we're getting close to, you know, hours as far as bus drivers, you know, keeping up with it. Because some days I'm having to put 3 drivers on because there's such a need. We do have wheelchair buses, so that's a need that we're able to meet that maybe a private person might not be able to. So I do think we need to get the word out there here that that is a service that can be provided by the town in addition to the volunteers.
Oh, yeah.
Other requests that I get from people that I could see this program working for, certainly in the winter, we get requests asking if somebody could shovel snow. Most seniors are very afraid to go out and do snow shoveling. I actually just got a call the other day from a senior who's in his 80s that can't type anymore, can't use a computer, and he's working on a book, his mother's story, or I don't think it's anything real long, but he said, "Do you know anybody who would be willing to type for me?" So that would maybe be a wonderful opportunity for a high school group, maybe to help him so he can get this memoir and his mother's, you know, story together. Some other things. Oh, as far as the bus program, let me get back to that. We do not real often, but on occasion, come up with somebody who needs any help, needs our transportation, but we have a hard time because our driver can only be a driver. They cannot be an aide. They have to stay with the bus. So maybe, you know, having a few people that we could even put a word out that we have to transport somebody, and would somebody be able to go along with them? Maybe just kind of hold their walk next to them as they get from the house to the bus. Once they're at the bus, they're our responsibility. But once they get to the doctor's office, sometimes people need help getting from the doctor's office to the bus and the bus to the doctor's office, which our bus driver is not able to do. So that would be something related to our transportation. We do get requests for that. Technology, yes, we have run a few technology programs. Seniors that need help, how to use their iPhone, how to use their television sometimes, because even the televisions are tough. When we have special events, we just had our annual senior prom a couple weeks ago that was very successful. We had 80 seniors, and I had some wonderful volunteers that came and helped decorate the room. It was beautiful. We had a lot of fun. And we have involved the high school in that in the past too, or even coming to the event and getting up there and getting them out dancing. The high school kids have helped with that in the past. The kids get out and dance, and they ask, you know, maybe some of the single women if you know, they'd like to dance. And so that even some of our special events, that would be helpful. Like I said, the church, you know, a church on Sunday or weekend driving, I would see where there could be a need for that too. So I certainly think it could be successful. And through the Guilford Cares program, we've seen that the Guilford community certainly will step up for this need.
Great. Tammy, did you want to add in?
Yeah, there's never been a shortage of civic-minded people here in Guilford. That's for darn sure. And we have a lot of agencies, community groups that do provide services, but there are those, and we have the Guilford Interfaith Volunteers, but they're very specific. The Meals on Wheels program, the Friendly Visiting program, we have our Charlie's Closet. And when Guilford did the Guilford Cares, where we did the grocery shopping, where they did the grocery shopping for seniors, that has always been one service that I always felt in Guilford there was always a need for prior to this, because there comes a point in time where seniors aren't able to ride the bus on their own and bring their groceries back and forth, or they do need somebody to shop for them, or they need somebody to go with them to help them carry their groceries, reach the top shelf. So I feel like that's an unmet need in our community, which was certainly helpful during when we had the Guilford Cares program. But we get calls all the time. Somebody needs to move into Guilford Court or Boston Terrace, and they need help, moving their stuff and setting up their place. They don't happen to have family available to them. Or we get calls in the summertime, same as Terry, in the wintertime, the shoveling, or somebody to help weed their gardens. Just those type of activities that, or an aide to go to the doctors with them. So I feel like something like your community cares was a very important program that we could bring to Guilford. Felt like it would take care of a need.
Great, thank you. And for anybody that didn't get a chance to introduce themselves, I see Thomas. Hi, thanks for joining the call today.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry I was a little late. I'm representing the Guilford Rotary Club, and we're more than honored to supply the $3,000 to start off the event. I can see the Guilford Rotarians volunteering for a lot of this stuff. It's what we're joined the club for. So I'm looking forward to starting that with the club, and I think it's a great program.
Great, well, thank you again. Thanks for all you do, and thanks for being here.
Oh, you're welcome.
Did I miss anybody else? I think. Not good.
Joseph joined.
Okay, and people don't have to talk. I just wanted to give them a chance to ask any questions.
Judy Ann Wallace. Hi, Judy Ann.
Hi. I'm sorry that I was late. I am representing First Congregational Church and the Pilgrim Fellowship Program, high school teenagers. And so we have helped in the past in little ways. And this is a great, it's a great opportunity to just put something out to the students and say, this is available to you for volunteer hours. The high school students all need community service hours to graduate from high school. And within our program, they need community service hours as well in order to go on our week-long service trips. So I see this as a great opportunity to make it an easy match for them to be able to do things for the community.
Yeah, we would love that. We'd love to get the high school students some of those community service hours. And Joseph, I see you there. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Michelle. We had spoken about doing some other programs in the past, so it's really wonderful to see what's happening here in Guilford, and I look forward to finding volunteers for this endeavor.
Great.
Great.
Chabad of the Shoreline, the Jewish community in Guilford.
Great. Yes, we know many people, as I'm traveling the state, as we're a statewide organization, just hearing from people like this lady from Southington called me this morning. She started this group, this disability group, because she said, I feel like we're just not being heard, we're not being seen, and there's so many people that need more help, and how do we get help? And she's like, when I saw your program, she's like, oh my God, this is it, this is what we need. And Southington, and we just happened to get a grant down in Southington too. So we do want to get the outreach. We know there's so many needs, but we've got to get the volunteers to be able to support them as well. So, having that combination of both is we'll be monitoring how many people we're accepting as community members and how many people we're accepting as volunteers, to make sure that we don't have too many of either, and that we're trying to meet the needs of those people that need the help.
When we first started, we had a two-prong approach to this. It was one-to-one. And that's where, like Michelle said, individuals heard about us and they signed up as either a community member or a volunteer. And then that was like an organic approach. Then we also have a structural approach, and that's where we integrate and work with the human service department within a town because they know their population best. So they understand, or they can identify the members that would need the assistance better than other people would. And then so there's the people that need help, and then we also work with the police department. They have auxiliary volunteers. Some of them have high school youth programs. So
do you have that in Guilford? Is the police department have like the Explorers Club or I forget what it's called in Clinton, but is there something similar?
We do not have that program currently. They used to have it, but we don't have it right now.
Okay. But the senior center, I mean, you guys, social services, you know who needs help, and probably some potential volunteers. So we're really hopeful that this will be successful in getting the word out, flyers out, and get the word out. So feel free to reach out to me if you don't already have a flyer or you'd like a flyer. Reach out to me. But these simple acts of kindness will go a long way to better support people across the town all year long. Tammy or Terry, was there anything else you wanted to add today?
Just that I have down June 24th at 12:15 is going to be the day that we're going to give a presentation to the seniors at a lunch. Is that still the plan? I do need to try to find somebody to sponsor maybe a dessert. It'll be during our lunch program, so we'd have our normal lunch and then have an opportunity for somebody from your organization to speak to the seniors about their role in this and how they sign up. And then we talked about maybe sponsoring like an ice cream, maybe we could do a make your own sundae, and I'll try to find somebody that could sponsor that special dessert that day. But I don't know if you want any of the volunteers to be there, or is that just to focus on telling the seniors about it?
It's up to you, whatever your capacity is. Can you just tell everybody again that day and time?
We were going to do it June 24th. Is that you okay? And that we would have our normal lunch that day for the seniors. And then after we serve the lunch, then we get their attention for maybe 15-20 minutes and have representatives from your organization explain the program and how they can sign up for it. Yep. So that I'm actually doing our June newsletter now. So I'm going to do a write-up in there and try to get as many seniors as possible to come to that lunch.
Great.
Terry, that's a birthday lunch anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's usually a good turnout.
So it'll be a good crowd, yeah.
I think I just got the menu. What are they having for lunch that day?
And if anybody else is having an event, we'd love to come and have a table at a health fair, or whatever you guys might be having, where please feel free to invite us, and we'd be happy to come as well. So we can...
Michelle, this is Matt. Couple of things. Excuse me. Couple of things. One, I think Terry and Tammy, I would like for us to engage Mitch, get something out to our entire workforce relative to trying to see if we can get departmental teams or just individuals to participate. That's one. The second is last Friday in my weekly message to the community, I mentioned this program, and just to suggest that people might want to take advantage of it, either as volunteers or as participants in receiving services. Third, we'll be happy to post something on our website to promote it as well. Try to drive some folks to that website and social media outlets to promote it, assuming that it's okay to do that. And then lastly, I am due to have a conversation with the local reporter from the Guilford Courier, who they are always looking for stories and column inches. So if I were to brief him on this, who should I have him reach out to get a good feel for it?
He could reach out to me or Tammy or Terry.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll start with Tammy, and then Tammy can, once she, if he bites on the story, Tammy could certainly suggest that he call other folks as well.
Yeah, and we do have the, thank you very much for that, Matt. Thanks for all those ideas. Those are wonderful. And we do have that press release, Tammy, that you could send to Matt.
Yes.
And he could always share that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Those
I'll
are
do that.
great ideas. Yeah, getting the as many people to know about it, that's really, that blankets the town, and then what they do with it is up to them. But it's an opportunity that, you know, we have 30 spots. We have the $3,000 at $100 a person. That's 30 spots. So we're looking for 15 pretty much, or maybe 12. And, you know, I'm not really sure how it's exact going to be broken down. Depends on how many people sign up.
Lastly, Michelle, thanks very much to the Rotary for kicking this off with that initial $3,000 donation.
Yes.
Have you or anybody from your team approached the Guilford Foundation for continued support or expansion? There you go, Tammy. How did Liza respond?
Well, unfortunately, it came after the grants program, their grant window closed, but I just had spoken to her the other day, and she said to make sure we get it in time for their next round. So that's on the calendar.
Okay.
And it's a good reminder to any business, any bank that would like to have a tax-free write-off. It's another way they can donate. They can be our sponsor, and they can kind of get their name out across Guilford that they're doing something good, whether it's, you know, an assisted living facility. It doesn't have to just be, but we are, like in Manchester, we are now in our 3rd year of being in the municipal budget under human services. And we just got into, we were in Bolton, and now we just got into Willington. I just got that yesterday. So I'm really excited to see where we can grow this, whether it's through sponsors from businesses or grants or what have you. There's a lot of different options.
Well, we have in the Human Services Council grants as well, but and I think you put one in last year, but we hadn't established anything yet. I think once we had something established and a proven data of folks, I think that will make a whole different give it a whole different outlook towards that grant. So
yep. I agree. We can definitely revisit that as well.
Yes.
So any other questions? I know it's almost at the end, and people are either hungry, they haven't eaten their lunch. I haven't seen anybody eating.
Michelle, can I ask you one quick question? In other towns, has it come up at all? Like, we have an assisted living facility in Guilford, Solstice, which we do provide bus transportation. They are Guilford residents. Has that come up in any other community? Are those people who live in those kind of units generally, do they ask for help, and are they eligible for this? And we do provide them the bus transportation because they are residents.
Well, they're signing up, like there's a facility that didn't have a bus driver for a while, so they created a partner account. So she would give a donation based on every person that signed up, but not as a whole group. So we really haven't been, you know, we haven't reached out to do that yet, because we've had a lot of success with getting these grants, and we're really just trying to focus on these grant towns. So we just don't have the manpower to do that yet, but that would be a great goal for the future.
But if somebody from one of those that live there, you know, reached out, maybe they needed help with a pet or something, as long as the agency was okay with somebody coming in,
oh yeah,
they would be eligible to use the service. Because they were one of the groups I was going to hit up to maybe sponsor the ice cream. So I didn't want to say, well, we want you to give us the ice cream, but your residents can't use the service. So.
No, we have a lot of people from assisted, just because they're in assisted living. I mean, everything is a la carte, right? So we have one guy who's blind, and he wanted help getting his computer set up. So Andy and I, we were traveling somewhere, so we stopped by and, you know, he wants to come every week and I just can't. But yeah, there's many people that are signed up through assisted livings.
Okay.
Yep. Because it's expensive and then they have to pay for every additional service. Tammy, could you share your, from the high school, could you share your, we can make sure to send you a flyer, okay?
Sorry, you just cut out on me, so I don't know what the question was. Share what?
Share your email so I can send a flyer to anybody who would like it. If you can
You
just.
got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.